everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance Current Affairs session. In today's session, we are going to discuss a very important news article of finance that is regarding Reserve Bank of India that has raised the minimum capital requirement for the asset reconstruction companies. So we will understand all about this news article. There is a notification that has been released by the RBI. We will be discussing that also in depth so that you have the clarity that what is included in this, that what is the meaning of this widen of the scope of their activity, and what is the new capital requirement, what is the glide path for that capital requirement, what are these ARCs. All the important facts we are going to cover in today's session and in depth so that you have the clarity of each and every term. Okay, whatever the terms that are used in the notification, that are used and that are important, that we are going to discuss in today's session. And let me tell you that the net own fund, this minimum capital requirement, the IBC that we are also going to discuss in today's session, all of this is very important from the examination point of view, and that's why I have brought all the important facts regarding this news article. But before starting with this session, there is a big announcement from EduTap that EduTap has brought for you the comprehensive guide for RBI, NABARD and SEBI so that you have all the information regarding these examinations that you are preparing for. Starting with the RBI manager, RBI grade B manager, if you are preparing for this, you need to know about the examination. Okay, what is the eligibility, what is the previous cutoffs, and what is the pattern of the exam, what is the syllabus, the subjects. All of this you need to know, and all of this is provided in this single book. You do not have to visit different links, you do not have to visit different websites. You can get all the information through a single book. Regarding NABARD grade A also, all the information regarding the exam as well as the preparation, how you can prepare, the strategy as well as the sources, all of this is already provided in this guidebook. Okay, so through a single guidebook you can know all about the exam that you are preparing for. So do download this free ebooks. The link is given in the description box below. These are absolutely free for the students, okay, so that you have the greater clarity about the exam and the preparation. Okay, so do download this free ebooks. Okay, so now starting with the news article, I have shown you the snippet of the notification that the RBI has released this notification on October 11, 2022. That is in this month only this notification was released by the Reserve Bank of India. So what this notification is all about, this is the review of the regulatory framework for the asset reconstruction companies, that is the ARCs. So starting with ARCs, this notification is for all asset reconstruction companies. First of all, when we say companies, so they are incorporated under the Companies Act, that you have to remember. Okay, so they are incorporated under the Companies Act. So now starting with what is asset reconstruction company. So they are the specialized financial institution, like there are the banks, there are the other NBFCs that work in different areas. So asset reconstruction companies are also financial institution that buys the NPAs, that is the net non-performing assets. Okay, NPAs means non-performing assets, or they are also known as bad assets. So see what happens, that a bank gives money to the borrowers. Okay, so let's say I am a borrower and I have gone to the bank to take the loan. I have gone to the bank to take the loan and I have taken the loan of 1 crore. In return of this loan, I am putting some collateral that I cannot sell my land, so just take my land as collateral. So I have put my land as collateral and I have taken the loan of 1 crore. Okay, so this 1 crore is the asset. This is the asset of the bank, because this 1 crore, on this 1 crore the bank is earning some interest. Okay, I have to pay the interest also because I have taken the loan from the bank. So assets are those things that earn something for the institution. So banks, for the banks, the loans are asset. So now non-performing assets means now I have taken this 1 crore, but now I am not returning back the interest. I am not even paying the loan. I am not even giving back the loan that I should have given at a proper time. So I'm not giving any interest, I'm not giving any loan. So this asset has become a non-performing asset, that this asset is not performing now. This asset is not earning anything for the bank. This asset has been blocked by the borrower. Okay, so that is non-performing asset. The asset of the bank has become non-performing. It is not providing any interest. It is not even coming back. The loan is not being paid back. So it has become a bad asset from, and it could be for the banks, NBFCs also, the other financial institutions also, they also give the loans. So it could be that instead of bank, the person has taken the loan from some NBFC. Okay, so the assets can become non-performing for the banks or the financial institutions, so that the latter. So now the asset reconstruction company buy these NPAs, they buy these bad assets so that the banks and the financial institutions can clear their balance sheet. Okay, so how they buy the NPAs, that we will see. Okay, so what has happened, that this person has taken the loan from the bank. Now the person is not giving any interest, the person is not giving back the loans. Okay, now this asset has turned into a NPA. After 90 days, it has turned into NPAs. So now what will happen, that the asset reconstruction company will say that give us this NPA at a discounted price. Okay, at a lesser value, give us this NPA and we will give you some money. So the ARCs give the money to the bank at a discounted value. Okay, so the ARC is giving the banks the discounted value of this asset, maybe 90 lakhs, maybe 80 lakhs. So that is the discounted value. The bank will say, okay, no money is coming back, so at least give us some money, at even if it is a discounted value. So they will take this 90 lakh, they will take this 80 lakh, and the other is the profit of the ARC. Now it is the work of the ARC to take that money. Okay, to take this asset from the borrower. Okay, they have to bring this asset to them. So now the ARC will try to bring this asset with them. So the bank, rather than going after the defaulter, see, the job of the bank is what? The main functions of bank is what? The bank do the deposits. It is to take the deposits and to give the loans. Now the bank has to focus on these working. The bank has to focus on these functions, and the bank cannot run after each and every defaulter, each and every borrower that is not giving back the money. So the ARCs come into work. The ARCs are the one that run after the borrowers to take the money back. Okay, they do different measures to take the money back. Okay, so the banks can clear their balance sheet off, as well as the banks do not have to run after the defaulters, wasting their time and effort, and can sell the bad assets to the directly to the ARCs at a mutually agreed value, that is usually a discounted value, so that the ARCs can also earn some profit after getting back the loan. So I hope you have understood the working, that what is the NPAs, how the NPAs are there, as well as how the ARCs are taking the assets, the non-performing asset from the banks at a discounted value. It can be 50 lakh also, because it is a risk for the ARC. The ARC is saying that the borrower is not able to give back the 1 crore. So we will be getting, maybe the ARC will think that maybe we'll get 60 lakh only back from the selling of the collateral that the borrower has given, or we will get back from the borrower only 60 lakh. So it will say to bank that we are only getting 50 lakh, so we will give you 50 lakh. So that can be also the discounted value. The discounted value can also be very less if the ARC know that the borrower is not going to pay much. So that is how the ARC, it is between them, that how the mutually agreed value is come up. Now the ARCs are legally defined under the Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest. Okay, SARFAESI Act 2002. So it is enacted in December 2002. It provides a legal basis for the ARCs in India. So this is the whole system of ARCs that you needed to understand. So now we will move forward to the review that has happened. So the first thing that we are going to see is that, considering the ARC's critical role, a need was felt to review the functioning and the operating framework. So see, ARCs are very important for the monetary system of the country, for the financial system of the country, and it becomes very important for the RBI to review the functioning and operating of the framework for the ARCs, that how they are working, because on the working of the ARCs, the health of the banks, the health of the financial institutions depend. Because if the NPAs are greater, you can understand that how much the banks are losing, how much the financial institutions are losing, how much the financial system of the country is losing. So it is on the functioning and operating of the ARCs that the financial health of the many financial institutions depend on, and that's why there was a need to review these ARCs operation and functioning. So accordingly, as part of the statement, so the Monetary Policy Committee meeting was held in April 2021, and after that there was the statement on developmental and regulatory policies that was released. So this statement is released after every Monetary Policy Committee meeting. So such a statement was released on April 2021 also, in which the RBI has set up, in which RBI told that it is setting up a committee to undertake a comprehensive review of the working of the asset reconstruction companies, that how they are working, and recommend suitable measures for enabling them to function in a more transparent and efficient way, so that they can start functioning in a much efficient way in the future. So based on the committee's recommendations, the review has been done by the RBI, and the RBI has brought the new norms. The RBI has brought the new functions, the new operations for the asset reconstruction companies to make it more efficient, to make it more better. Okay. The existing regulatory framework for ARCs has been amended, and this amendment has been brought by the RBI after seeing the committee's recommendation and seeing the comments from the stakeholders, okay, from the public stakeholders. So now we are going to see that what is this review that has been done by the RBI, what are the new things that has been brought by the RBI. So starting with the most important point that has been reviewed is regarding the minimum net owned fund requirement. So the minimum net owned fund requirement has been increased. Before it was only 100 crores. Okay, the minimum net owned fund is increased to 300 crore on an ongoing basis. That is, from now on, if a new asset reconstruction company is coming up, it should have the net owned fund of 300 crore rather than the requirement that was before of 100 crore. But if it is a pre-existent ARC that has been working, so what will happen with that ARC? How will it generate 200 crores through a thin air or something? So for the ARCs that are already working, for them the glide path has been brought. So the ARCs that are coming new into the industry, that is a new ARC is coming up, for that ARC 300 crore net owned fund is required. But for the ARCs that are already present, for them the glide path is provided for the existing ARCs to achieve the minimum requirement of the net owned fund of rupees 300 crore. So we will see that what is this glide path. Okay, so this glide path is, current minimum net owned fund is 100 crore. By 2024 they have to achieve rupees 200 crore, and by 2026 they have to achieve 300 crores of the net owned fund. They should have 300 crores of the net owned fund. That you have to remember. By what date? By what year? 2026. Okay. So in case of non-compliance at any of the above stages, by let's say 2024, they are not able to achieve 200 crores by 2024. So they will be under the supervisory action of the RBI. They will be under the action of the RBI, and including prohibition. The RBI can prohibit on undertaking incremental business till it reaches the required minimum net owned fund that is applicable by that time. So the RBI can say that no, you cannot do further business if the ARC is not able to reach the limits that is provided for them. Okay, the net owned fund that is provided to them. So deployment of surplus funds. The second big change that has been brought by RBI through the review is that in order to allow the ARCs, the asset reconstruction companies, to manage their surplus fund, let's say they have the fund of 500 crore and they are putting, from this 500 crore, they are putting 450 crore in the NPAs, okay, to buy the NPAs, to buy the non-performing assets from the banks or the financial institutions. Now the 50 crore is left. So that 50 crore, the surplus fund with the ARCs, they can effectively, efficiently use in the avenues that are already provided to them. In addition to the avenues that is already permitted, they are now permitted to deploy the available surplus funds in the short-term instruments. The short-term instruments are the money market mutual funds, the certificate of deposit, the corporate bonds, the commercial papers. I hope you all know about these. If you do not know, I will make a separate session in the Finnomics session where we will discuss about these terms. But here I hope you know that money market is a short-term market. Okay. So here these are the short-term instruments in which they can put their surplus fund. These short-term instruments were not available before to them, but now they will be available to them. And in short-term instruments, they can put their surplus fund which have a short-term rating equivalent to the long-term rating of AA minus. So they should have this rating. The instrument, the money market instrument, the short-term instrument should have the good rating, that is this, or above by an eligible CRA. So the credit rating agency is the one that provides the rating to the instrument. So the credit rating agency should have rated the instrument at least this or above, so that then only the ARCs can put their surplus fund into this instrument. Subject to the following conditions. Now there are two more conditions. There are two major conditions, that is maximum investment in such instrument is capped at 10% of the net owned fund of the ARC. So if the ARC has 100 crore of the net owned fund, only 10% of this, that is the 10 crore, can be put in that instrument, in the money market in the short term instrument. If they have 200 crore of the net owned fund, only 10% of this can be kept as the in the surplus fund, can be used in the money market instrument or the short term instrument. Okay, so 10%, that is 20 crore. So the ARCs can have a board approved policy in this regard, as well as they should have a particular policy that how they are going to use their surplus funds, in which instruments. Okay. So now the important thing that we are going to discuss next is that has been changed by the RBI, that has been brought by the RBI, is allowing the asset reconstruction companies to act as a resolution applicant under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. So the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was brought in May 2016. To see, this was also for NPAs majorly, for the non-performing assets. What happens that there are the creditors that have given the money to the borrowers. Now the borrowers are saying that we cannot pay back because we are going insolvent. We do not have any money left with us. So the creditors will say that how we are going to run after each and every borrower, and how are we going to get back our money that we have given. Even if we want to sell that collateral, selling a land that was worth 50 crores or something, it is not easy. How will you find the borrower very easily? So what happens that the creditors and the borrowers, any of these, if the borrower is not giving back the money, if the borrower is thinking that I have no way out, that how can I deal with this situation where I have no money and I have to pay back the creditor, and the creditors are coming after me, they are harassing my family, they are harassing or they are treating me badly. So the borrower can go under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and he can start the CIRP process. Okay, so this CIRP process we are going to discuss in next slide. So he can start the CIRP process. This is the insolvency resolution process, and through that, under the IBC code, this is the framework through which the plan is given that how the borrower can repay the creditor. So a particular plan is laid out, okay, so that it becomes easier for the borrower to see the path that okay, through this I can pay back, and the creditors, they become secure that okay, we are going to get back our money. Or the creditors can also go under the CIRP process through the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code if they feel that the borrower is not giving back our money, so they need a plan so that they can take the money from the borrowers. Okay, so this is the whole plan for the borrowers and the creditors. Anyone can go to the insolvency and under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. So now the ARCs, that is the asset reconstruction companies, can act as a resolution applicant under the IBC code. So what is this resolution applicant? Okay, so first of all, ARCs are currently not permitted to commence or carry or any business other than the securitization or asset reconstruction or the business referred to in section 10(1). So simply what is there, that other than the reconstruction, that is the NPAs, other than buying the NPAs and reconstructing them, reviving them, bringing the money back, other than this business, securitization. Now I have told you the meaning of reconstruction, that is reviving the loans in a way. Securitization means that acquisition of financial assets, that is the acquisition of assets. Assets, I have told you, assets are what? The loan that the banks have given, the loan that the financial institutions have given. So for acquisition of those financial assets from the banks or the financial institutions by an ARC. So ARC is acquiring it from the banks or the financial institutions by raising the fund from the qualified buyers, qualified institutional buyers, that are big buyers. So see how the ARC is getting the money to give the bank the discounted value. Even if the ARC has to give 50 lakh, 1 crore for a 2 crore of the loan, 50 crore for the 60 crore of the loan. So how the asset reconstruction company is getting the money? Does it have this much of the money with itself? So what happens that there are the qualified buyers that actually give the ARCs the money. Okay, there are many qualified buyers that provide the money to the ARCs, and in return the ARC is giving the security receipts to the qualified buyers. The security receipts are a kind of proof that is given to the qualified buyer that they have put this much of the money with the ARC, and that's why they have the interest, they have the title in the financial asset that is acquired by the ARC. So in simple terms, under the securitization, what is happening? The acquisition of the financial asset is happening. The ARC is getting the financial asset. The ARC is getting the financial asset, that is the non-performing asset, that is the money that the ARC can get from that non-performing asset. So by raising funds, now this money that the ARC has to give to the banks for getting this financial asset, so this money can come from the qualified buyers by issue of security receipts. So the ARC can get the money from the qualified buyers to pay the bank through the security receipts. Now this security receipts represent the undivided title or the interest of the qualified buyers in the financial asset, or we can say the asset that is involved in the securitization that is acquired by the ARC. I hope you have understood this process very clearly. It can get tricky, but I hope through this diagram it has become better. Okay, so ARC is giving the bank the money. The money is coming from the qualified buyers, and the qualified buyers in return are getting a right, that is through the security receipt they are getting a right on this financial asset that is acquired by the ARC by giving the bank the discounted value. Okay, so now I hope you have understood that this is the work that the ARC can do. The ARC can get from the bank directly the NPA that will become under the reconstruction, that the ARC is getting from the bank the NPAs to reconstruct the NPA, or it can come under the securitization that the ARC is taking the money from the qualified buyers to for the NPAs, to buy the NPAs. Now other than that, it is not allowed to do much of the other work, but now it has been decided under the provision of section 10(2) of the SARFAESI Act to permit the ARCs to undertake those activities as a resolution applicant under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, which are not specifically allowed under the SARFAESI Act. So under the SARFAESI Act, they are only the asset reconstruction companies are only allowed for the securitization, that is to buy the NPAs by taking the money from the qualified buyers, or they can directly use their own money for the reconstruction process for the NPAs to for the buying of the NPAs and to reconstruct the NPAs. So in terms of section, now what is this resolution applicant? Now we have said that okay, the ARCs is going to become resolution applicant. What is the meaning of this resolution applicant under the IBC process? Let's understand that. In terms of section 25(2)(h) of the code, that is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, the resolution professional invites. Now see, the committee of creditors are the ones whose money is going now. So the committee of creditors under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, there is a committee of creditors that have given the money to the corporate borrower. So this committee of creditors choose a resolution professional that will look after the whole process of taking the money from the borrower through a process. Okay, that how the money can be taken from the borrower. Either the borrower is saved, either the company of the borrower is saved, either the management of the company is changed of the borrower. Okay, let's say borrower is a company. The borrower is a company that has taken the money and that is not able to pay back the money. So the resolution, see, the plan is that to either save this company, to change the management, to save this company, because this company has a future. In future it is going to earn the profits, and that is going to benefit the committee of creditors, because the creditors will get huge interest, they will get high money in the future. So this company can be saved by restructuring the company, okay? Or we can just directly sell, liquidate the company and sell the assets and get the money to the committee of creditors. So which paths should be chosen? The company should be saved or the company should be sold? exit the market. So which path should be chosen, and that is seen through the resolution plan. So the resolution professionals are chosen by the committee of creditors, and this resolution professionals invite the resolution applicant so that the resolution applicant can make a resolution plan. I can understand that how confusing it can be. Let's understand through this diagram. See, the under the IBC code, the committee of creditors are there. Okay, the creditors have given the money to the borrowers. Now the future of the borrowers is in the hands of the resolution professionals, we can say. Okay, the resolution professionals are chosen by the committee of creditors to see to the whole process of this insolvency resolution process, that how the money can be taken out from the borrowers, how the money of the creditors can go to the creditors. So this process is seen through the resolution professionals. So the borrowers can be saved by restructuring, by merging this company to some other company, by amalgamation, by changing the management of the company or something. So the company can be saved, or the company can be liquidated, sold and exited from the market. When the assets are sold, the money is coming back to the COC. So which process to follow? So for that, the resolution professionals choose the resolution applicant. So this resolution applicants are the one. So the resolution applicant is the one that makes the plan, that makes the resolution plan, that which path we have to follow. Okay. So here, who prepares the resolution plan? So the resolution applicant prepares the resolution plan on the basis of the information memorandum that is given by the information memorandum is given by the resolution professional. So the committee of creditors tell the resolution professional, the borrowers also discuss with resolution professionals that we are facing this problem. Okay, we have taken this much loan, we have to pay this much of the interest, and we are facing this problem. So the resolution professional provide this information to the resolution applicant, and the resolution applicant make a resolution plan for the borrower, for the creditors, we can say. Okay, I hope you have got this information, that what is the resolution applicant that makes a plan for the borrower, for the creditor, and this plan is given to the resolution professional, because as the end-to-end process has to be seen by the resolution professional. Resolution professional has to get the information, it has to ask the resolution applicant to make a plan, it has to see that plan, it has to take the plan to the committee of creditors, it has to take the plan to the tribunal. Okay, there is the tribunal in the IBC. So all of this plan has to be seen through the end-to-end process, has to be seen by the resolution professional. Only a minor work is given to the resolution applicant. You do not have to go in depth, I was only telling so that you have the clarity about the resolution applicant. Okay, so these are the norms that the permission shall be subject to the following conditions. So the ARC can become the resolution applicant, but to become the resolution applicant they have to follow these norms. Okay, the ARC has a minimum net owned fund of 1000 crore, then they can become the resolution applicant, then they will be viable, they will be eligible for the resolution applicant. The ARC shall have a board approved policy, a committee comprising of majority of independent directors to make the proposal of the submission of the resolution plan. So there should be independent directors that are involved. The ARC shall explore the possibility of preparing a panel, so that if the management has to be changed, there is already a panel that is with the ARC that can be taking the that have the expertise in running firms or companies. So the ARCs, it is the work of the ARCs to provide a proper plan, that okay, this management has to be thrown away and this is the management that has to be brought in for handling this company of the borrower, so that it will give profits in the future. So all of the process has to be clear with the ARCs, okay, because it is the plan of that the resolution applicant that has to provide. In respect of the specific corporate insolvency resolution process, so CIRP is insolvency resolution process especially for the corporates. Okay, so it is specific corporate insolvency resolution process. The ARCs shall not retain any significant right over the company after 5 years. Okay, so after 5 years they should not have anything to do with that company. The ARCs shall make additional disclosure in the financial statements with respect to the assets required under the IBC, as well as the ARC shall disclose the implementation status of the resolution plan. that if the resolution plan is in what phase, that the management has changed, now the profits have started to come, or only the management has been changed but the losses are still there. So all of this the ARC has to tell. So this is the eligibility criteria. I hope that you can easily see. Adjudicating authority is the law tribunal, national law tribunal, that is under the IBC. Okay, so I hope this is very clear with you. You just have to remember that what are the eligibility criteria. Okay, so this was all for today. I hope you have learned about the net owned fund. I hope you have learned about the resolution applicant, that the ARCs can become resolution applicant. This much you have to remember. Other things, just forget about that. I was just telling so that you can understand that after becoming resolution applicant, what can they do? They can plan, they can prepare the resolution plan. Okay, so I hope you have also seen the criteria, the surplus funds, where the surplus funds can be put, that can be put in this short term instruments. That is also, I hope, very clear. So you just have to remember 3 points regarding the net owned fund, regarding the surplus fund, and the third point is regarding the resolution applicant that can prepare the resolution plan for the corporate insolvency resolution process. As easy as that. So the whole news article was regarding this. Just the terms was a little difficult, but I hope you were able to understand everything. Okay, so this is the first question and this is the second question that I hope that you can easily answer. And these were the people that were able to give the right answer of the previous session question. It was Neil, thank you very much, Akshay, Vardhaman, Soumya, Isha, Pushpal, Neelam, Priya, Bhagirath, Ankit, Amit, Monica, Ravi, Yash. And if you have any query, I am available. I will be replying to you in the comment section below. Thank you very much for the support and for coming and seeing this session. I hope the session is clear to you. It can be confusing. Try to see it again to clarify. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any query, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Do join our Telegram channel. You will get the PDF in that channel. Okay. The link will be given in the description box below for the comprehensive guides as well as for the PDF also. Okay. Thank you very much.